Good morning, everybody. Elena Sherwood here. I am live broadcasting from Ottawa. So I'm Elena. I am an author, therapist, and a life coach, and I am here to hopefully bring you some useful, I almost said useless, isn't that funny? Some useful, very useful practical advice. So thank you very much for joining me today. Feel free to send me some questions, folks. You know, I love questions. They don't have to be great, they don't have to be earth shattering. Just send me some questions on topics that you think would really be really helpful to you in terms of inner well being. Okay, so let me know if you're here. Say hello. Let me know, comment in some way if you're finding something helpful. Yeah, oh my goodness, so excited to be here today. So last week I talked about marriages and I talked about the intimacy and the commitment and respect. Well, so I thought I would continue in that theme to address a couple of really good questions here. Okay. So the first one is, my partner isn't really big on communication. What can I do? Any tips? Depending on who you ask, communication, you will get a different kind of answer. If you're asking a teacher, you'll get something. If you're asking a therapist, this is what you're going to get from me. So when it comes to communication, we have to be really clear on a few things. Okay. We all know that communication is a two-way thing. We all know that we know what we want to get out of a conversation. But we have to be clear on what is our partner's or our person's responsibility and what is ours. So, what falls on us? Quite a bit, actually. Quite a bit. It falls on you, the person who wants the communication. It falls on you to pick a time when it's a convenient time to have a conversation. I'm a big advocate as, oh my goodness, never, ever right before bed when you're both exhausted, or right before supper when you're exhausted and you're tired and you're hungry. Not right after, because there's other live things to be, life things. So my thing is, it's up to you to pick a time with intention. Because, okay, never mind the because, there's a huge thing. You want it to be convenient, and you wouldn't want anybody approaching you for a deep conversation or meaningful conversation when you got the car's running and you got a car full of kids that you got to transport somewhere. So it's up to you to pick a decent, convenient time. That is on you. Okay. The other thing that's on you, if you want a truthful conversation, you have to begin from a place of truthfulness and honesty, and above all, kindness. I talked about respect last week, and that's big. You need the respect more than ever when it comes to communication, because you need to respect that other people are thinking and feeling different things. That's just how life is. So it is up to you to be willing to engage truthfully and honestly and kindly. You know, people say that it's all in the compromise. Compromise is the heart of, it's all about the give and take. I don't think so. Yes, oh my God, absolutely, it's a key thing. But if you ask me, the heart of any good, sound relationship is in their ability to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is huge. Because when you look at all of those things I talked about last week, it takes vulnerability to respect someone. It takes vulnerability to commit to someone. It takes vulnerability to love someone. So, yes, this is still a conversation, a communication, because everything that you do to set this up will make a difference. Okay? So you start from a place of truthfulness and you're setting the tone to be vulnerable and you're setting the tone to be kind. Okay. And the other thing that people forget is just because you want the conversation, it doesn't mean that you get to choose how your partner or how your person will respond, because they may not be into wanting to respond in the way they feel like responding to you. And so really, you need to be prepared to sit and wait for a response as opposed to feeding, come on, I need an answer. No, that's not respectful and that's not kind. And that's not in the groundwork that we're trying, it's not in the environment we're trying to create here. So that's very important, folks, is the kindness and the ability to pause and get comfortable with silence. It's really not that hard, you guys. I do that for a living, waiting with the silence. It's okay. It's great. It's powerful. Silence is absolutely powerful. And so you need to have that comfortably there. It's very important. And the last thing is kind of in interwoven in the other stuff too, is you need to have an understanding of what the other people may be feeling. You need to allow yourself for a minute or more to pause and see things from their point of view. Not always easy. It's really not that hard. I know, it's big and yet it isn't. So the next question I want to answer is on the other side of that, because I cannot tell you, especially when I worked in the military, this was a very common question I got, especially from the men. I'm not good at communicating. Give me some tips. So now we're on the other side. And so if you are the other person, and my suggestion to you is to have your partner or anybody you know who's struggling with this. I'm going to post all of these on YouTube. Have them watch this, like partner together or one or the other, but have both see, because there are always two sides. And so when I've investigated with the people who find it difficult to communicate with their partners, when I go further, often I get she gets so emotional. And then she starts to attack me. And then I just want to run. And so this is not about blaming, but this is simply about understanding what might be happening in the other end. Okay, so if you are a person who has a hard time with these conversations, that's okay. It's good to understand that these are hard for you. But it's also your way. What's up to you, though, is putting some trust that this person that you love the most, or hopefully love the most, simply is trying to reach out to you. It's not an attack. It's an extension of a hand saying, please, come closer to me. May I come closer to you? So when people invite us for deep conversations, it's not always for an opportunity to berate us or to make us feel small and to make unnecessary, insane demands on us. Sometimes it is simply a gesture towards closeness, a gesture of vulnerability, a desire to be closer. Because isn't that really what's at the heart of all relationships? Isn't that the point of it? Is closeness. And a good kind of closeness, a healthy kind of closeness that's very good for the people in it. So there's that. So that's one of the pieces of advice I have for the person who struggles with communicating. It's understand, put yourself in the mindset that this is not a battle zone. It's a coming together of two folks. And it might get uncomfortable, but that's okay, because just because it's uncomfortable, it doesn't make it wrong. And spend the time clarifying. So if you were the person who's struggling to communicate, spend the time to say, I don't know what you're talking about. Please clarify. I'm seriously confused about what you're trying to say. That's when you have to be vulnerable. Vulnerable enough to say, I'm sorry, I don't have the answer. I don't understand the question, but please help me understand it. So Not an easy thing to say when you feel like somebody really needs something and you have to say, I don't understand you. Because a lot of the times that's exactly what's happening is they have no clue on what is needed from them. And the other thing that I put on the partner who can't communicate very well is to ask. Tell me what you need from me. What is it that you need from me so I can give it to you? It's hard. But you see, these little things can clarify everything. And what I do notice is some people want something to act on. They want something to do. They want something that they can move, create, buy, sell, build, fix, anything that they can action on to get through to you. And so it takes the listening on both sides for people to really understand what's even happening. And maybe there's nothing really happening other than two people feeling distant and two people feeling disconnected and almost estranged, which is, as you know, never the point of relationships. So, did I have any other advice for the folks who can't communicate? Yeah, the other thing is feel like do what I suggested the other person is that set it up at a time that's convenient for you, the time that you feel bravest, and the time that you feel in the conditions that you feel are safest for you. Maybe it's not alone in a bedroom or alone in a house, or maybe it's over coffee at a public place in Tim Hortons where you can say, you know, I think we need to talk, or let's talk about this. Whatever it is, that it is also on you to initiate. And it's also on you, not or, and it is also on you to accept an invitation. So when it comes to communication, this is really all about us understanding what's ours and owning that stuff. Because everybody has some kind of problems with communicating in some way. And that's okay because that makes us human. So that's my point is today, understand what's yours and own that and move forward with it and be active about it. Because communication doesn't just magically happen consistently, bravely, vulnerably, connectedly. It's got to be nurtured. It just does. There are too many things working against us that get in the way. So I hope, folks, this has been helpful to you. Please get in touch with me. Comment below if you have any questions. Comment below anyway. I would love to chat with you one-on-one. I do offer coaching, and I offer free chats, 20 minutes or more. Sometimes it goes into more if we just want to see if we're a really good fit, or if I'm really the person for you, or if I'm able to help you at all. So please take advantage of that, folks. Outside of that, I will see you all next week. And thank you very, very much for listening to me. Have a great day.